Well, here at Changing Latitudes, we do a lot of fence building lately, and it's going to continue today. So stick with us, and here we go with another round of fence building. Okay, we've marked everything out. Ron and I are going to attack this thing where we're going to chop off the tops of the metal. If you remember correctly, we drove these metal posts into the ground with our Titan PostDriver, and now it's time to trim them down to the exact height so that we can surround it with the wood that we've been working with on all the other fence projects. You know, with the PT boards hollowed out, as you just saw, datoed that out. I've made sure that we have the split ready to go, and we'll go ahead and wrap all the posts here. So for right now, it's all about just cutting down to the right height as we've marked. But yeah, it's just a matter of you got to hit it like sideways a little bit.
Yep, to get it started.
Yeah, it's it's. Now that we're trimmed down the driveway, it's time to wrap the wood. So Ron right now is doing a quick paint up, but what we're going to do is go ahead and drill through the front here, the backing, and you'll see that in a second, in locations that do not interfere with the brackets that are eventually going to go in, because you don't want the screws to obviously run into each other. And then we're going to go ahead and put on the front the datoed out piece and bind them together with the screws. Simple process, repeated 36 times. Okay, all you need to do is kind of provide me a clamping action while I take these guys off. And up here. Yeah, so I can get that guy sneak past it. And I gotta kind of watch there. Okay, you got it? Yep. Ah, fuck. Fell down.
Process, huh?
It is. And one of which when you get going on it, it's okay. It's just you gotta get past that first. You know. Yeah. And by the way, these all play out, these little gaps.
Yeah.
In the end, because you go to put the cap on, and it fights with these.
Yep.
I know. Okay, so let's take some of these guys. I gotta switch positions with you. And then it's keeping your hand straight on this thing. Good.
Huh.
He wants to move on me.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm using flatheads on this one. Yeah, so it's just, because you don't have a lot to play with, so you got to keep it straight. Over that part. See, on the fence over there, I did put these last two in.
Yeah.
On a regular, so these are all bending out over there.
All right.
Yeah. Yep. 35 more to go. Brutal, huh?
Brutal.
Completed the post up the driveway, looking really, really good. It was a lot of work. We're in a high 90s week here at the end of August, so it's been brutal to put them in, but we got all done in one day, so that was quite the push, and we got our done. Now it's time to paint the post. The order of things here will be simple. We'll paint the post, then we'll paint the brackets. The brackets will be affixed to the post. And then we'll cut the wood. When we cut the wood, we're going to have to put a little bit of call it a foot in on both ends of paint, so that it goes, when it goes inside the bracket, that's painted. The ends are painted, and then I'll come back and spray the rails in. So with that, let's get to the post. Okay, I have finished off the painting for now on the post. Unfortunately, when I stained it in the inside, or had Ron do it, it bled through with the retardant, if you will, that keeps it from rotting. So unfortunately, it's bled through. So I'm going to have to let that dry out a little bit further. It's been a couple weeks right now in the gap, so hopefully I'll test it here and see if it works out. But today I'm going to go ahead and start lining up the brackets up the hill. And so I've got two controls. One, the height, which of course I use my template for. Then also one that is going to control the wiggle waggle that goes up the hill. These posts are pretty straight, but they're not straight enough for me. And as you look up the hill, you're going to see just a bit of chatter, or a little bit too much chatter for me. So I'm going to try to control that with two control points. We'll see what happens. Also, too, the posts themselves have just a hint of a twist from one to the next. Again, you're putting in a metal in the ground, you're pounding it in, as you've seen. It's going to twist a little. So it's not that big of a deal. It's a little OCD of me to go after it, but nonetheless, if I can control it a little bit better, why not? So that's what I'm going to be up to right now, putting in some brackets for the fence going up, the rails going up. So how am I doing it? I've got myself my template, as you may have seen in the past. Obviously, I've got my brackets already put in based off of another template. And now we're ready to go to where we do the basic mark and we go ahead and set ourselves up the course. Of course, you don't want to go any of this. You want it to be perfectly straight when you're looking on it. Even though it's at an angle, you want to see that perfect slope. Let me show you also what I'm doing. So I've got myself set at about a 8-degree turn on this, and that maps back to the cut that I need. So I simply mark it once over there and run it through the cut. Then after I get done with the cut, I go ahead and give it a paint about 6 inches in, cover the end cap there that I just put the cut through, and make sure that it is all sealed for the weather. Then obviously take it back over with a high degree of measurement and make sure that we're measuring it correctly every step, and there it floats up. Now the boards are somewhat twisted. I've had them for a period of time, and so I have some boards that are just frankly I got to toss off. I've got another project I can use them in, cut them into pieces. But the pieces that I have that are somewhat twisted, I'm going ahead with them, and obviously I have to work them into the bracket and get them in. It's working out fine. Visually it's okay. Not perfect, but again, this is wooded, a wood fence. It's going to have this. I don't like the plastic. I'm not saying anybody else can't have one, but I don't prefer it. And this is the downside of wood. So I've overcome the one downside, which is to put the steel in, as you just saw. so that it will never rot and fall down, but I can't overcome the fact that it is wood. So with that, let me get into the cuts here and start going. Okay, because I have the template, this is set perfectly every time, as long as you're making sure you're resting on the wood of the template. So with that, just simply drill it in. Here we go. The fence is completed all the way up the driveway, and it's quite exciting to see. We've also been able to get the pavers in, and I did not show that on the video, nor the painting of the fence, because frankly, that activity has been shown before, and anybody can show you a fence being painted. So the caps are in as well. I've lit about every third post, and that looks really exciting as well. So as we go up and around what I call the parkways on the top, there'll be some more fence videos to be certain in 2026. But I thought I would just go ahead and share out as you look down the line. It's really crisp looking. The pavers are in, it looks really tight. I am fighting a little bit of the hillside here and obviously trying to seed it to get that grass rooted in and looking good. Can't get there yet. We're getting some torrential downpours, so it's playing havoc with what I've got there. I did hydro seed a little while ago, and it frankly didn't take. And the reason why I didn't take is because this area here is clay with rock, and on top of that, it is something that I couldn't irrigate. So I just couldn't get it to pop. So I'm trying another round, another style, another path, and we'll see what happens. I suspect I'll have quite a bit of grass downhill, and I'll still continue to struggle in this middle space. But for now, this driveway is done. Thank you for sticking to the end. If you don't subscribe, please click like. If you've been here all the way to the end, you probably enjoyed the content. There's plenty of other videos on the site. So appreciate you, and yeah, we'll talk to you soon.
We do it now. We do